In Dubai's Business Bay, a tower is rising that is not like other towers, 557 meters tall, 104 floors, tapering as it climbs, crowned at the top like a tiara. But here is what makes it unusual. This tower was not designed by an architecture firm. It was designed by a luxury watch and jewellery brand. Jacob & Co., the ultra-premium watchmaker, partnered with Dubai developer Binghatti to build the world's tallest residential building. The design is inspired by diamond cuts, by the precise geometry of high-end watches, by the sparkle of stones. Building 557 meters tall is hard enough. Building 557 meters tall as a tapered cylinder inspired by luxury jewellery is a different engineering problem entirely. This is the story of how engineering serves aesthetics, and aesthetics demands engineering that pushes the boundaries of what is possible. Jacob & Co. is not a real estate developer. It is a watchmaker and jeweler based in New York, one of the most exclusive luxury brands in the world. Their watches cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some cost millions. Each one is handmade. Precision engineered, a work of art. In 2021, Jacob & Co. did something unexpected. It announced a partnership to build a residential tower. Not just any tower, the world's tallest residential building. The vision was singular: create a living space that reflected the same values as their watches. Precision, luxury, craftsmanship, beauty. But translating those values from a watch to a 557-meter tower is not a straightforward exercise. A watch has a mechanism, gears and springs and escapements. A tower has a core, columns and shear walls and mechanical systems. A watch sparkles because of how light refracts through cut stones. A tower cannot sparkle the same way. It can only sparkle through form and proportion. So the design brief became, create a tower that has the same precision and luxury feel as a Jacob & Co. watch. And the answer was a tapered cylinder, inspired by the geometry of diamond cuts, crowned at the top like a tiara, rising with mathematical proportion from base to tip. The base of Burj Binghatti is approximately 100 meters wide. At the top, it narrows to roughly 40 meters. That taper is not subtle. It is dramatic. The tower does not rise vertically. It pinches inward as it climbs. That creates an optical illusion. When you look at the tower from ground level, it appears to be leaning backwards slightly. It is not. It is mathematically precise. But the taper creates a sense of motion, of elegance. The crown at the top is segmented, faceted like a cut diamond, like the crown of a tiara. It sits atop the tower like a jewel. Every element is purposeful. Nothing is decorative. The tapering is inspired by diamond cuts. A brilliant cut diamond has 57 facets, each one at a precise angle to maximize light reflection. Burj Binghatti's taper is similar. The building steps back at intervals, each step calculated to optimize proportion, to create visual harmony, to catch light at different angles as the sun moves. The building has 104 floors, each one progressively smaller as you climb. Penthouse suites at the top have views that no other apartment in the world can match, because they are literally above everything else in Dubai. And they are in a form that has been refined through the lens of luxury watchmaking. Tapering a building at extreme height creates structural problems. The weight is concentrated. At the base, the structure must support 557 meters of tower. At the top, it supports nothing. That creates uneven load distribution. The columns at the base must be enormous. The columns at the top can be slender. But you cannot simply make the columns thinner as you go up, because the building must remain rigid. It must not sway in the wind. It must not crack under its own weight. The engineering solution is a sheer core, a massive central column that runs from the base to the crown. This core resists lateral forces, wind, and earthquakes. The outer columns transfer vertical loads to the core. At extreme tapering, the core becomes proportionally larger. In some super tall tapered buildings, the core takes up 30% of the floor area. That space cannot be leased to residents. It is pure structure. Burj Binghatti balances this problem through careful design. The taper is dramatic, but not extreme. The core is present, but not overwhelming. The result is a structure that is both elegant and livable. There is also the thermal engineering. Dubai's desert creates temperature swings. The exterior of the building in direct sun can be 70 degrees Celsius. The interior is climate controlled to 22 degrees. That creates stresses in the structure. Materials expand when hot, contract when cold. Over 557 meters, that expansion and contraction can cause movement of several hundred millimeters. The building accommodates this movement through expansion joints, soft zones in the structure that allow flexing. The mechanical systems are designed to move and flex, not rigidly, but with purpose. And wind. At 557 meters, the building experiences wind speeds that would topple most structures. The tapered form helps. The narrow top presents less surface area to the wind. The stepping sides break up vortex formation. But the building is still designed with damping systems, mechanical systems that absorb wind energy. So when gusts hit, the building moves slightly, but never alarmingly. Residents never feel the tower sway. What makes Burj Binghatti unique is not just the form, it is the philosophy behind the form. In most supertall residential buildings, the architecture is driven by how many units fit. How tall can we build with the zoning restrictions? What is the maximum profit per square meter? Burj Binghatti inverts that. Jacob & Co. asked a different question. What is the most beautiful tower we can build that is also structurally sound and viable as residences? The answer was a tapered cylinder. Inspired by diamond cuts and watchmaking precision, this building will have 557 meters of residence, but it will not feel like a residential hotel. Every penthouse, every suite, they are designed as singular works of art. There are infinity pools with views of the entire Dubai coast. There are sky gardens at multiple levels. There are private elevators, bespoke interiors that are unique to each unit. Because this is not a speculative real estate project. This is a luxury brand building a monument. And what the monument says is that engineering precision and aesthetic beauty are not opposites. They are expressions of the same impulse. The desire to create something perfect. Something that functions flawlessly and looks extraordinary while doing it. This is what happens when a luxury watchmaker applies the discipline of horology to a 557-meter building. Every element is designed to be precise. Every measurement matters. Every proportion is calculated, and the result is a tower that is both a residential building and a work of art. When Burj Binghatti opens in 2027, it will not be the world's tallest residential building. Other towers are already taller, but it will be something different. It will be a demonstration of what happens when a company applies its core values to a scale of architecture most people never attempt. Jacob & Co. does not build buildings. Jacob & Co. builds watches that keep time for decades. Watches where every component is essential, where nothing is wasted, where precision and beauty are one. Burj Binghatti is a watch made of steel and concrete, a structure that is beautiful because it is precise. That is precise because the engineering demands it. It is 557 meters of philosophy. A statement that luxury is not decoration. Luxury is the elimination of everything unnecessary. It is form that serves function. function that emerges as beauty. The tower rises, tapered and crowned like a jewel, because it is engineered like one.